Good afternoon and welcome to Fur, Fins, and Feathers. As we start our 11th broadcast, I just want to welcome everybody. We've had a wonderful response. We have had viewers from as far through the internet, visitors from and viewers from as far away as Ireland and all different parts of the world. And we're doing very well, and we are going to be growing the show next year with several new broadcasts, and we're going to have a lot of fun. But we're going to take a brief break for the holidays, and then we'll be starting up in the new year. Today, our guest is Dave Rose. David is a well-known alpaca breeder who lives in Swansea.
Welcome.
Good to see you again.
Thank you.
How did you get into alpacas, Dave?
Well, I was working for the United States Department of Agriculture at the time, and I saw an ad in a magazine. And I thought, oh, this might be something to try when I retire from the USDA. So I went and visited a few farms, and about a year later, I bought 7 of them, and that's how it all started. So right now, I have 74.
And you are one of the largest breeders in the area, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, second or third in the state, not
in
just
in the state.
Yeah. So.
Can you talk about alpacas and tell us a little about them?
Alpacas first came in this country in 1986. There were 4 imports from South America. They're originally from the Andes Mountains in South America.
Okay.
And they brought them in, and the last one was 1999. Then the import was shut off from South America. So while there's 6 million of them down in South America, depending on who you talk to here in the United States, there's anywhere between 500,000 and 1 million of them. They're in all 48 contiguous states. I don't know about Hawaii or Alaska, but they're in all the different states that we have. And in Massachusetts, there's probably about 60 farms. And in New England, there's roughly about 200 farms that have alpacas. So that's where it all began. I started with 7, like I said. Now I got 74, and you know, they're pretty easy to take care of. The thing that's closest to them internally is a goat in America. So if you have problems with them not having enough milk, you can feed them goat's milk, the babies.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
How related to llamas are the alpaca?
They're cousins.
They are cousins, okay.
Yes, they're all part of the camelid family. Camels, llamas, alpacas, they're all the same family. They all have the same internal situation, and they're all related, just a different size. And the alpaca has the better fiber than a llama.
How do you care for them, the alpacas?
The alpacas like second cutting hay. They like soft, grassy hay. They don't like a lot of stems and sticks in it. Horses will eat stemmy hay. They don't. And they also get about a yogurt cup of grain twice a day. You can't give them too much grain because there's protein in it, and it'll make the fiber coarse. The whole thing about alpacas, what makes their fibers so unique, is the fineness. You want to keep it fine so it's softer and it feels better. It's not itchy, scratchy. Alpaca also does not have lanolin in it, which is what everybody's allergic to in wool. You're not actually allergic to the wool, you're allergic to the lanolin. So I'll say to 99% of the people in the country, you won't be allergic to alpaca. I did meet a lady the other day who's not allergic to wool, but she's allergic to alpaca. First one I've ever met, so I don't know. It's a crazy thing.
How do you groom them?
You don't really do anything to them. We shear them once a year, because to make any of the things, the socks, the hats, all that stuff, the fiber has to be 3 inches long.
Okay.
So you don't brush them like a dog or any of that stuff, because you can ruin the fiber by doing that. So all you basically do is when you shear them, you stand them up and you kind of run your hands across them and trying to shake out any extra loose material that they pick up hay and things like that. You try to get out the big pieces, but you don't really touch the fiber itself because you'll ruin the structure of it.
And you shear them once a year?
Once a year, yes, once a year. I usually shear the last week of April so that they're cool throughout the summer. Right now they have about that much fiber on them, and by next April, with any luck, if we have a cold winter, they'll have 3 to 4 inches. And white grows faster than black, the fiber.
Okay.
All right. White in the wintertime reflects the sun and the heat, where the black sucks it in. It's just like people. In the summertime, we're always wearing light clothes, and in the wintertime, we wear dark clothes to try to stay warmer. It's the same thing with them. So hopefully we don't get a lot of snow, but hopefully we have a cold winter and the fiber will grow, and it'll all make 3 inches, and we can use it all on these different things that I have.
Now, do they stay outdoors?
For the most part. I have a big barn, but they prefer to be outside unless it's raining. They don't like rain, they don't like wind. Snow, they'll stay outside as long as it's not a foot of snow. But if there's just a couple inches, they'll all come in the barn, and they'll have like an egg-shaped pile on their back where they've slept, and you can see all the places where they slept all night in the snow. And like now, if it's clear tonight, I go down the barn at 9 o'clock, there won't be a soul in there. They're all outside somewhere. So, but in the summertime, they're all in the barn when it's hot. So I have fans set up all around the barn to try and keep them as cool as possible. And their cooling is on their belly and their legs, so I'll hose them off. I'll keep the hose low and hose off their belly and their legs, and they like that. So that's how you take care of them, pretty much.
How do you keep them away from predators?
We don't really have a problem. There are coyotes and foxes all around my yard, where I see the footprints at night, or in the snow I see their footprints, but they don't bother them. I guess they're just big enough, and there's enough of them in each pen so that they're not very attractive to anybody to tangle with. They can give you a good kick. That's running, spitting, and kicking are their main defenses. And they can give you a pretty good kick if they hit you just right.
So the coyotes are not a problem?
No.
Or the foxes?
No, they don't go in there at all. So that's don't really worry about that. There's plenty of fences, and they have a warning signal that they give that brings everybody in. If they're out in the pasture, something, and one of them gives this warning signal, it's a high-pitched whoop whoop type thing, they all come running back. And you'll never find one out in the pasture and everybody else in. They're always together. So if they're all out there,
so they congregate
yes,
together?
Yeah, they're a social animal. You can't own just one. You have to have at least two, because they need the companionship. So
I've read that people value them as companion animals. Is that true?
Somewhat. People will buy them as companion animals. If you don't want to put them in with sheep, but if you have goats or some other animal, you don't want to put them in with cows either. But people have them just kind of like pets. The vet over here on 118, he has a couple in his yard over on Cedar Lane. Cedar Lane.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but yeah, that's what alpacas are.
What's their longevity?
20 to 25 years.
Really?
Mm-hmm. I have 2 right now, knock on wood, that are 20, and I have a couple that are 18, and there's a bunch 15, 16 in that area there. I did raise one that lasted until she was 23. So
What kind of veterinary care do they require?
as little as possible, I hope. I give all the shots. I trim the toenails. I trim the teeth. Only if there's something beyond that do I have.
Do you have to bring in a veterinarian?
Yeah, I bring in a vet. Yeah, if there's some sickness or illness that I can't figure out, then I bring in a vet. My vet lives right here in town too, so that's easy.
So they're very easy to care for.
Yep. You don't have to do much for them.
You brought some
I brought
materials,
a few things for you to see. This is stuff that the co-op puts together. This is a scarf.
Talk about your co-op.
The co-op is located in Fall River. It's called the New England Alpaca Fiber Pool, and I send all my fiber to them, in the spring after we're done shearing, and I put in an order for the hats and the gloves and the socks and all that I need, and then I pick it up in August, and that's basically how it works. It used to be just New England, but now it's grown so big that they're taking in fiber pretty much from probably about 40 states. They're going all across the Midwest and even out as far as Oregon to get fiber.
And it's all colored.
Some of it's dyed. Obviously, I don't have any
Dyed.
green ones. But they make fingerless gloves, for mostly women that work in cold offices. I found that out. Or band members, marching
Wow.
band members. Or the other one was, what do you call it? I can't think of it right now. Bagpipes.
For
Yeah.
bagpipers.
Bagpipers, yes. Then, of course, we have regular gloves. The most item I sell the most of is socks. Everybody loves alpaca socks. Because the first thing is alpaca is 3 times warmer than wool. Okay? It is the hypoallergenic. And in the socks, they've turned the alpaca into a high-loop terry cloth and lined it with that. So you don't get any itch. And
Now, how are these made, Dave?
they're all machine made. This is all
Okay,
machine.
but here, they're
It's two layers.
a 2-layer.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. And the other good thing
Survival socks.
That's right, that's survival socks. The other good thing about alpaca is that it's machine washable and dryable. You don't need any special care. You throw this in the washer and you throw it in the dryer, it won't shrink. Where wool will shrink. And all I tell people is turn it inside out so it won't pill. It will pill if you don't. And the more you wash it, the softer this gets, the lining gets. So that's the big thing, and I sell a lot of these things. And they come in, we have natural colors, 4 natural colors, and then there's 4 dyed colors. So you can pick what you want. One of the newer things we have are mittens, dyed mittens. And these mittens have a lining in them. It's a brushed boucle nylon lining in them that will be the warmest mittens you'd ever own.
Excellent for holiday gifting.
Yep. Good stocking stuffer. We make they make several different types of hats. This is called the Heirloom Knit Hat. It's more or less, a lot of women buy these. It's a little fancier. Doesn't have any lining in it. And this is the most popular hat. Basically, they call it a watch cap,
Yeah.
stocking cap, but it's lined. So again, you don't get any
And
itch.
this will last forever.
Well, mine's lasted about 7 years already on the farm, and I throw it right in the washer and right in the dryer, and it's fine. So that's that. And then the last thing that I brought is we don't waste any fiber. Not one fiber is thrown away. These are dryer balls. Put in a dryer instead of using dryer sheets. This is the stuff that comes off the belly and the legs. It's too coarse or too short to make any of the good stuff.
Yeah.
So it's felted, and then I contract with people. I give them the fiber and I contract with them, and you make this like you make a snowball. You have to wash it, and then they squeeze the water out of it, and then let it dry. These things, if you use them every day, last about 2 years. And if you just use it 2 or 3 times a week, lasts 4 or 5 years. All natural, no chemicals. You know, dryer sheets are all chemicals. And if you want your laundry to smell a little bit, put a drop or 2 of essential oil on one ball, lemon, lavender, whatever you choose, and it will spread it throughout the load. And when you get bored, you can learn to juggle, I tell people. So that's what we do. I'm participating right now in the farmers market that's at the Swansea Mall. It's up across from, it's located up across from the food court.
Right up the road.
Yep, right up the road. And my daughter goes to Mount Hope Farm in Bristol. And I have my son going in Middletown, and I have another woman going to Pawtucket. So then I go wherever.
So you'll be spreading out to farmers markets in other communities as well?
Yeah. Yep. Mm-hmm.
This is very, very interesting.
So, yeah, here's a couple pictures for anybody that's never seen an alpaca, because I get that once in a while. What's an alpaca? And I say, well, I have a banner that has their pictures on it, so I say that's what an alpaca
Now,
is.
this is
That is
3 different colors?
Yep.
What are the different colors that they come in?
Alpacas come in 22 different colors, which is a little misleading because there's white, there's beige, there's light brown, medium brown, dark brown. There's fawn, light fawn, medium fawn, dark fawn. There's true black, there's bay black. You know, so and there's gray, there's light silver gray, medium silver gray, dark silver gray. But basically it's black, white, brown, and gray, if you know. And these 3 here, this is Scarlet, what's her name? Pandora, and Juanita.
Do you have names for most of them?
They're all registered, they're all blood typed and registered. Just like the dogs have the AKC,
Okay.
the alpacas have the Alpaca Owners Association. So all these guys have been blood typed. They all have a certificate at home in their own little file and folder that tells you who their parents were, grandparents, as far back as we can go. It's 1986 basically.
So it's a registration?
Yeah, it's a registration that you transfer when you sell them and all that. So yeah. Yeah, so it's like I said, it's a pretty serious business, and people really like them. So, but
Do they go to alpaca shows? Are there anything? Is there such a thing?
oh yeah, yep. Several of these, I've taken a bunch of them to alpaca shows over time. The closest one we have here is at the Big E.
Okay.
There's one in the fall there, and then there's what they call the North American is in the springtime. And I've gone to both of those. I've gone to them up in Maine and Vermont too. So you still have shows. The thing with alpacas is, when the economy went south in 2007, the value of these guys kind of went down with it.
How much does an alpaca cost, a young one, off the record?
It kind of depends on what you're going to do with it. You can buy them for $500, or you can spend $10,000, $20,000.
Really?
The highest selling alpaca in the country sold for $975,000.
And why was that?
People are nuts, I think. But it's $10,000 to breed to him. His name is Matrix, and he's down in South Carolina. But it's $10,000 just to breed to him.
And why is he so rare?
His fiber, the density of his fiber, the crimp in his fiber, his whole body shape. It's perfect. When you look at dogs, you're looking, make sure their legs are straight and their back is straight and everything. Well, alpacas too. You're looking at all that. You're looking at that conformation of the body. One of the things is the neck needs to be 2/3 as long as the back, And if it's
It
not,
would be like me judging a dog.
Yeah.
Like
exactly.
according to the standard.
Yes, exactly. That's what you're doing. So, again, that was before the economy went sour. It's come back, but the price of these things really hasn't come back that much. I mean, if you spend a lot of money, I think you're kind of nuts. But so that's why, I got kind of dragged into that too, thinking, this was the way to make a lot of money selling these animals.
Yeah.
But when that happened, then I figured out the best way to try to make money off this is through these alpaca products. If you sell one animal a year or two animals a year, even when they were $15,000 a piece, it's going to cost you almost that much to feed them and everything. So
How much does it cost to feed an alpaca?
it costs me right now about $350 a week
For
those 74.
For the 74.
Yeah, between hay and grain. That's about what.
And
it
you
costs.
have to go out and get it. Is
Yeah.
it delivered?
The hay gets delivered. The hay is from New York. I buy trailer loads of hay from New York. The grain, I go up and get it at Ventura's in Taunton. So,
So you're up early in the morning.
yeah, but they don't really take that much care. I mean, it's, right now I'm taking my time. So it's about an hour and a half in the morning. And when I go back tonight to feed them, it'll take me 20 minutes. Just feed them, give them hay, make sure they got water, give them their grain. In the morning when you have to clean up everything, that takes a little bit longer. Days you have to give shots, it's longer. Trimming toenails. But for the most part, it's pretty easy thing.
Is it hard to trim them?
Some are easy to do. They'll stand there. You have to halter them. Some of them are easy, and others will fight you to the death. You have to strap on another halter on them and tie them, because they're very, very smart little animals when they don't want to have something done to them. And that's when they spit too. Alpacas, I will tell you, alpacas take 11 months when you breed alpacas, because I do a lot of that.
How often do you breed their bred annually?
You can.
Or do you hold off?
I hold off. There's no sense, let them recover. Let the mother recover, because you're going to have the baby there 6 months, at least 6 months nursing. So let the mother recover. And I have enough so I don't have to breed the same ones year after year. And so it takes 11 months. I've had them go up. This year I had one that went a year and 2 days, but usually around 11 months. And a nice size is 15 to 17 pounds. They usually get up within an hour. You want to see them up within an hour. Some of them get up quicker than that. And you want to see them nursing within 4 hours. So that's what.
Do you have to bring a veterinarian in to help them?
No, I've had to help at times, but no, I don't usually bring in a vet. This year I did for one, because she spent a week. She ended up spending a week at Tufts because she was kind of messed up, and the local vet couldn't figure it out. And it was a girl, so I wanted to save it. So it's a very expensive girl. Let's just say that. It went to Tufts.
So they do require regular veterinary care.
Yeah. When I first started, I let the vet do the shots, and then I figured out, when you have 7 or 8, that's okay, or 10. But it gets mighty expensive when you have a lot of them to have the vet come out.
I would think so, yeah.
So I try to keep her. I always tell her, if I don't see you, swell. It's nothing against you, but I hope I don't see you. So that's life of alpacas.
This is a very, very fascinating topic. How many they have single litters?
Yeah, it's usually one. There's only been maybe somewhere between 15 and 20 incidents in the United States where there's been twins. I haven't seen any, and there's only been one in Massachusetts that I'm aware of, and that goes back right at the beginning of when I was starting. A guy up in Millis had twins, and he called them Machu Picchu. So, surprising the number of people that I run into in this that have been to Peru and brought back all kinds of alpaca stuff and visited with alpacas and been to Machu Picchu and all those things. It's just surprising how many people to me that have been to South America.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Very interesting.
Bring back sweaters and all that good stuff. So.
But they are no longer imported. You cannot import them?
No, not from South America. No. You can bring them in from Canada.
Where do you have you brought in stock from other countries?
No, I haven't brought in stock from couple of the ones that I originally bought were from South America. 2 females were from South America. But no, now I've bought them from as far away as Maryland, and I've bought them from Vermont and Maine, Connecticut, New York, when I buy. And I've sold them all around too, so it's kind of a give and take thing. But
so you augment bloodlines by bringing in stock from other areas?
Yeah, because it's the same thing. New England, everything comes back to those first few that were imported. So I look for things, I haven't gone out there, but I'm looking for things that don't have the pedigree, that don't have the bloodlines of anything that I have. Because there's a couple that show up. His name is Bueno, and he was one of the original ones brought into this country, and he was like the top alpaca in the country. So his bloodlines are all over the place. So you try to, when you look at their charts, their certificates, you try to see if he's in there anywhere. So I have his son. I have his oldest son. So I'm looking to make sure that I don't bring any more of that blood in. Looking for things that aren't related to anybody on my farm. And if you just stay here in New England, it gets tougher and tougher.
Very interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And you said your son and your daughter are
Yeah.
involved in the business as well.
Yeah, they both work for me at farmers markets. So they don't have anything to do with the animals, but they'll go to the farmers markets for me. So
I guess we are being told that it's time to end the broadcast. I wish you all a very happy and healthy Christmas and New Year, and we will see you in the new year on Fur, Fins, and Feathers. Thank you very much, and have a good day.